In this video, we're going to be giving our reaction to Andrew Tate speaking on accountability, taking responsibility. A lot of people fail to realize that their life is where it's at because of the lack of accountability. When you begin to take accountability for your actions, both the good and bad, it's when you begin to become better, when you begin to improve, when you begin to see increase, when you begin to seize more opportunities. More opportunities are going to come your way when you take accountability. A lot of people are down in the dumps because of their failure to take accountability, and we're going to deal with this.
Yes, they lied about me. Yes, I'm innocent. Yes, it was a setup, but it's my fault.
Do you think that applies to women as well? They need to take the responsibility for whatever happens to them.
Well, I don't want to get in trouble, but
because with that logic, with that logic, and I see the point because I believe everything is my fault as well.
Yep.
But with that logic, then if a woman is wearing a short skirt,
and let me stop you right there. We're gonna go deep into it. Every day in this life is your fault. This is what you got to realize. It's your fault for the good. It's your fault for the bad. Stop trying to blame other people for what's going on in your life and realize it's your fault. I was betrayed. It was my fault. I was taken advantage of. It was my fault. I was tricked. It was my fault. I was duped. It's my fault. I can't blame nobody else. It's my fault. But guess what? When things go good in my life, that's my fault too. Accept accountability for everything that's going on in your life.
And a bra and walks on the street.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
And then she gets whistled at. She gets, God forbid, raped or hit on or whatever. Is that her fault?
Yes. Now, in true misogynistic style, I'm going to have to say that women, by and large, and obviously exceptions do disprove the rule, struggle with personal accountability more than men, by and large. Correct. And I'm not saying all women. I'm just saying.
But I mean, there's an exception to all rules, right? But we're talking here generally speaking.
Yeah. Yes. And the reason for that is because when you blame yourself for things, you become competitive. And the world for a man is actually more competitive than the world for a woman. And women, to a degree, not all women, but some women manage to get by not being particularly competitive. They're just pretty, or they know enough people. And they just go through life not really blaming themselves for anything because they don't have to optimize in any way. But if you want to optimize yourself, you always have to take fault for everything all of the time. I said something before about that the BBC still use against me to this day. I said that exactly what you said. I said, if a woman goes out and she meets a man she doesn't know, and she's wearing a short skirt, and she gets drunk with that man, and then she sniffs cocaine with that man, and then she kisses that man in the bar, and then she goes back to that man's hotel room, and then cries rape, I blame the woman. And they said, in the BBC, Andrew Tate says women are responsible for rape, because they twist everything. And what I'm trying to say is that we need to have personal accountability in all things, because the world's not a perfect place, right? Am I saying she should be raped if she ends up in that hotel room? No. What I am saying is that the world's not a perfect place and people do bad things. And her, as an adult, should have enough personal responsibility to not put herself in a position where it's easy to allow bad things to happen to her. Just as I, as a man, don't allow myself to be in a position where bad things can happen to me. I won't go to Kandahar right now and get shot with an AK because I know that there's people there who might kill me. We all have to have personal responsibility.
Listen, as he pointed out, we put ourselves in situations where bad things happen. Not nobody else. We do it. We ignore red flags. We ignore signals that our spirit may give us. We ignore dangers. We ignore risk. Then turn around and want to absolve ourselves of accountability. Life does not work like that. You have to take accountability for yourself. When you take accountability, you can improve where you are at life. It's nobody's fault but yours, and this is where you got to get to. Now, when speaking on, as he used it for example, which they try to get him for, speaking on a woman being raped, and how she put herself in a bad situation, You can't wear certain type of clothes, go back to men houses, get in the bed with them, have a lot of alcohol, and then cry that somebody, listen, everybody is not a good person down here. Now, you would have prevented yourself from that happening if you didn't put yourself in that situation. And this is how it is for a lot of you men and women. You put yourself in dangerous situation and expect danger not to happen. You put yourself in risky situation and think that the risk is not going to happen. You put yourself in dire situation and think that nothing's going to happen. Life does not work like that. The scripture says, shine the very appearance of evil. Yet you still put yourself in a position for bad things and evil things to happen to you. Why? You don't use no wisdom. You don't learn from other people's mistakes. You don't glean knowledge from those who have gone before you. You want to do things your way and think that it's not going to happen. Yes, it will happen to you. I don't care how prideful you are. I don't care how arrogant you are. I don't care how confident. It will happen to you.
But the world is now skewed, and we live in this very unfair dichotomy of this double standard which is applied to men in this matriarchal matrix system where women are girl bosses and better than us at everything and beat us up on Netflix shows, while at the same time, anything that happens to them wasn't their fault. A man made them do it. And we have these two things sandwiched together. And as a man, you're stuck in the middle. Imagine you're a 17-year-old boy, you're going to school, you're watching Netflix, you're watching TV, you're watching these things. They're telling you women are better than you at everything. They're trying to make you into a girl, trying to make you talk like a girl, think like a girl, be a girl. You turn on Netflix, the mom is smart, the dad is dumb. There's a little woman beating up 55 men on every single TV show. Your masculinity is permanently under attack.
And fellas, this is what you need to realize. This society, this matrix wants you to become women. That's what feminism is all about. Feminism wants you men to become women. Why? Women tend to absolve themselves of accountability more compared to a man. Man is made to take on responsibility. Man is made to be held accountable versus a woman. A woman always have a safe place to land in society. When she make bad decisions, when she make poor choices, she's able to have a safe place in landing, not men. No, go look at the statistics. You'll find out that more women absolve themselves of accountability compared to men. That's the reality of the matter is. But yet this society wants you men to become women and want you to put women on a goddess level to keep you weak, to keep you docile, to keep you in a position where they indoctrinate you with their BS, indoctrinate you with an enslaved mindset so they can continue to take advantage of you, so it can continue to dominate you, so it can continue to control your way of moving in this society. But the man that refuse to be controlled, refuse to be enslaved and take accountable for his action is the man that is dangerous to the society, dangerous to the matrix, is a threat to everybody around him. That's why this matrix system want to keep you docile. It don't want you to rise up as a threat. That's what feminism is all about. It don't want you to take accountable for your finances. It don't want you to take accountable for your relationship. It don't want you to take accountable for your career, your job, your education. It don't want you to be accountable for nothing. When you're not in a position to hold yourself accountable, it's able to continue to control and manipulate you. And a lot of you fellas, you're manipulated by the society. You're manipulated by the opinions of others. You're manipulated by your woman. You're manipulated on your job. You just a manipulated weakling.
Then you get a girlfriend and you're with her for a few months, then you break up, and then she cheated on you, but that's your fault because you could emotionally manipulate, or you were a narcissist. So everything she does is your fault, but you have no authority, but you have all the responsibility, but you're also her inferior while capable of making her do things she doesn't want to do. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
I think this double standard as well of how they're raising women and men these days to believe that women are taking the place of men and there are no men, and you should emasculate yourself a little bit so that there is equality, right? But then when men and women are dating and they're in relationships, all of a sudden a woman is going back to her instinct and she's like, but why aren't you leading, and why aren't you providing, and why aren't you leading the household? And you're like, okay, but I thought that's not, like, did you not want this? I mean, I'm so confused because mainstream media is saying that it's offensive now to tell a woman that I've got you, right?
Exactly right.
That's why I keep telling y'all, stop listening to mainstream media. Listen to the men that's out here trying to give you the truth, to trying to wake you the hell up. As a man, you have to be accountable. You have to realize everything is your fault. Because at the end of the day, women going to blame you. Society going to blame you. Your family going to blame you. You gotta pay attention to this, man. You're going to be blamed for everything that goes wrong in your life, that goes wrong with people around you. And since this is the case, you better start taking accountability for your life right now before it's too late.
Right, and that's why the birth rate's collapsing. That's why marriage is collapsing. That's why everything's over. You know, I recently watched this. I witnessed this recently. We're talking about how, and we can actually talk about this from a biological perspective, because we talk about how women don't want to take accountability for things. But one of the reasons they get away with that is because men, by and large, as a society, allow women to get away with these things.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Because we are programmed to protect women. Mm-hmm. Because if you have 100 men and 100 women, and
this is what I don't
a
understand.
war comes.
You men is so afraid of losing women that you are scared to hold them accountable. You so afraid of losing that fat booty, huh? You so afraid of it. You think you're not going to get another woman. You got a scarcity mindset, and that causes you not to want to hold her accountable. You're weak. You're soft. You have to come out of that weak mindset. If you got to hold yourself accountable, then you need to hold everybody around you accountable. You got to hold your woman accountable. You got to hold your children accountable. Everybody. You don't ever want to get to a place where you reduce your self-image. You reduce your respect for the sake of others. Because at the end of the day, if you reduce your self-image, you reduce your respect, these people are not going to respect you anyway. And there's so many of you men out here, your woman don't respect you because you keep giving in to a whimsicality. Your children don't respect you because you fail to hold them accountable. Society don't respect you. You just a defeated individual that's walking through life endlessly.
The reason the men go fight, because supposedly the patriarchy was so evil and mean. If you listen to a feminist, history is patriarchal. The patriarchy is disgusting. Turns out it was men who were dying in a ditch, getting shot while you sat at home with the kids. But no, we were supposedly bad. Why do we send the men to go fight? Because if it was truly a patriarchy, we could sit around and say, I'll send my women against your women. Baby mama battle. I'll send my chicks. You send your chicks. They can fight. I'm going to sit here. I'm a king. I don't have to go fight and die. Why? Because if you have 100 men, 100 women, and 95 men die, well, those 5 men can still impregnate the 100 women. Your tribe will survive. If 95 women die with 100 men, your tribe's over because you can't reproduce fast enough. So men have been programmed evolutionarily across thousands of years to protect women by and large. And you see this all the time. And that has been hijacked now to the point where women, when they don't want to take responsibility for their own actions, have men jump up and jump around them to defend them. This happens all the time. A porn star will come out after doing 500 porn scenes and say, I was fooled and tricked. My mom was a drug addict and it was unfortunate. And then this manager met me and he seduced me.
You see what he pointed out? Women have a safe place to land in this society for their wrongdoing, for their bad decision, for their poor choices. You men, you don't. So why not take responsibility for your action? Why not get up and do something that gonna make you better? You have to be accountable. You're not allowed that safe place to land in this society when you don't want to be held accountable. No, a woman can do it. Because by nature, like you pointed out, it's man's responsibility to protect a woman. And you got a lot of simps that pander after women, no matter if they're wrong or not. No matter if they need to be held accountable. You got a lot of men that pander after women and make them feel secure in their efforts. Okay? But you men, no. You have to understand it's your fault. And knowing this, I'm going to shut it down after. As knowing this, that it's your fault, you got to hold yourself accountable. Stop allowing other people to control your life. Stop allowing other people to manipulate your decisions. Stop allowing other people to dictate what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Because at the end of the day, it's your fault. You got to take responsibility. You got to hold yourself accountable. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, it's nobody's fault but mine. And when you come to understand this, you become more free in your thinking, more free in your behavior, more free in your lifestyle. And when you get more free in your thinking, more free in your behavior, more free in your lifestyle, that's when you then able to become successful and more prosperous, because you're not moving at the dictate the drumbeat of other people's opinions. Okay? So realize it's your fault. Realize you got to take responsibility. Realize you got to be accountable. Don't try to compete with no woman. Don't try to compare yourself to a woman. You're not a woman. The society wants you to be a woman, wants you to act like a woman, wants you to be emotional like a woman. No, you're a man, and your masculine imperative is for you to be responsible and for you to hold yourself accountable, all right? Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for your boy. All right, peace.